Members of the Yoruba Tennis Club, who fondly refer to each other as brother and sister, continued the celebration of the 90th anniversary of the club as another group, the Fish Group, hosted the club members to a sumptuous fish luncheon. The greetings hall, the venue of the event, brimmed and shimmered in mostly white color. The anniversary caps and headgears in which the brothers and sisters turned up. Of course, the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Ayodele Martins, in what has become his signature trademark, beaming with smiles, went round to formally welcome members and other guests to the fish luncheon conviviality, as music from the female artist of the bandstand enveloped the air. Quickly, the Honorary General Secretary of the club, Brother Engineer Olaomi Gaspar MNI, brought his in-depth knowledge of the history of the club from hindsight of his long-standing membership of the club to bear with a very articulate presentation of how the Fish Group came into existence, as well as all the important points to bear in mind about the group, which has 5 unique tables.
Let me remind brethren all and our very new members that the Thursday Fish Group started in 1985 as an informal gathering of 12 brethren of the club who decided to have a specially prepared fish lunch together once in a week in the committee room. The committee room then was a more serene atmosphere. The original tradition of members of the Fish Group hosting the order in turn has been maintained up to today. At inception, from the archives, it cost just 300 naira to host the group. But I believe it now costs 60,000 before recession, but with recession, 100,000. Members of the group usually feel very highly honored to host. The groups are arranged around 5 different tables at lunch.
The chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Ayodele Martins, also addressed the gathering, thanking members and guests for keeping the date, as he also used the opportunity to further update everyone about the upcoming events for the 90th anniversary of the club, which ends with a grand finale on the 17th of September 2016.
It is indeed a special day. As the General Secretary said, a celebration of the 90th anniversary of the Yoruba Tennis Club without the Fish Group is not only incomplete, but probably hasn't even started. It is indeed a formidable gathering amongst the Yoruba Tennis Club. The club is particularly grateful to all the members of the group through their coordinators who willingly raise on.
There were goodwill messages from Island Club, whose chairman, Brother Dikpo Okpeshi, SAN, was represented by Vice Chairman of the Island Club, Brother Prince Adelano Adeshida, who is also a member of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Chief Iyola Umishore, one of the longest-serving members of the club, opted to speak in Yoruba language so that the importance of his message would be properly assimilated. As for Elderman Folari Kuka, OON, Vice Patron Trustee and former Chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, he chose to enliven the event with one of the songs in his very rich repertoire. As the addresses were going on, fish meal was served with some drinks to wash it down, all in celebration of the Yoruba Tennis Club at 90. The female artists on the bandstand dished out some very catchy and danceable tunes, to which all members danced. The vote of thanks was given by Vice Chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Professor Tokunbo Fabanwo.
Next, I'd like to thank the Almighty God now for bringing us here again. The anniversary indeed has kicked off, and it has been massive so far. Those of you who are here on Tuesday saw that we kicked off on a very grand note. And I want to assure you, as the chairman has said, that the tempo is just building up. It's going to get warmer tomorrow at the Old Masters Party. And I'd like to encourage all brethren to come. I want to thank again our trustees for always supporting us. The Baba Itu and the Baba Oba is here. Thank you very much, sir. Brother Dr. Femi Gwokno is here. Sir, thank you for being with us all the time.
In the evening of the same day, brothers and sisters of the Yoruba Tennis Club, their children and friends, all dressed down, looking very smart, converged on the same venue, the Greetings Hall, whose entire ambience had been transformed in tandem with an atmosphere that transported everyone many years back in time music-wise. The DJ, who was all kitted up with the latest musical gadgets and music of all sorts, was given specific marching orders, hitting the audience with old-school rhythm to see how much in time members can go to when men were boys and women were girls. It will be fair to say that brothers and sisters did their utmost best to reach out to their old-school dancing armory to measure up to standard. Others also had to spy on the younger ones not to be outdone. The chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Ayodele Martins, the vice chairman, Brother Professor Tokunbo Fabanwo, supported by their amiable consults, gave a very good account of themselves. However, if truth be told, Brother Prince B.C. Olatila was head and shoulders above those of his generation in the flawless way he gyrated to both the old school and new school vibes in the right styles and sequence. Of course, in showbiz, one has to be very much up to date. Or what does one expect from someone who has gone through the full cycle of being a DJ, a music presenter and producer, and still holding on over 42 years ago down the line in showbiz? Memories will indeed be made of the old school party, one of the programs to celebrate the Yoruba Club at 90. With this bold step, The club has indeed endeared itself to the younger generation who have always felt left out. If one was asked to award Max as regards the program that is clearly in the lead since the 90th anniversary celebration of the Yoruba Tennis Club began, without any doubt, it will be the Niger Fair. In terms of timing and conceptualization, it couldn't have come at a more opportune time than now, when we must all close ranks, think out of the box, to use our God-given talent and resources to rise above the recession that is upon us, following the free fall of the Naira and the unfortunate nosedive our economy has taken. Sister Muyiwa Martins, the chairperson of the women's wing of the Yoruba Tennis Club, and other sisters deserve a huge pat on the back, of course supported by the chairman, Brother Ayodele Martins, the vice chairman, Brother Professor Tokumbo Fabanwo, and indeed the planning committee of the activities of the Yoruba Tennis Club at 90, led by Brother Barrister Olakunle Agbebi, with the Niger Fair, with which the organizers intend to grow the Naira and give a lifeline to budding Nigerian entrepreneurs, the required avenue to profitably market their products. The Greetings Hall of the Yoruba Tennis Club featured a display of a sort. Most of the products like shoes, handbags, dresses and other accessories made locally by Nigerian entrepreneurs were on display. Lagos State must be commended for its strategic partnership with the Yoruba Tennis Club in this all-important issue of helping to put Nigeria's economy back to the recovery path. In the remarks of the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Ayodele Martins, who was the host and chief, he admonished the budding entrepreneurs whose goods are on display to concentrate more on the quality rather than the quantity of the products. He said, once the product compete favorably internationally in quality, there will always be a ready market for such products.
It's just our own way of giving back to society. We felt we should sponsor these goods, sponsor everything to do with the publicity, so that people could come and see and draw inspiration from what can be done in Nigeria using Nigerian products. Take it from me, what you guys are doing here is so important, and you cannot tell the number of people who are just going to be inspired by seeing what you guys have done, and a lot of them are now going to say, you know what, we can do it too. And those of you that are already in it, I hope that at the end of this exercise you will feel that you have a platform to even grow bigger, to become major employers in our country.
The first of the three commissioners from Lagos State at the Niger Fair event that spoke was the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Poverty Elevation, Mrs. Lola Konde. She said the product also ties in with the vision of the Ambode government, which has as its main focus promoting made-in-Nigeria products, a way to cushion our economy. She commended the entrepreneurs for taking the self-dependent step to try to help get Nigeria back to a financially healthy state, which will add value to the Nigeria economy. Mrs. Lola Konde stated that major economies of the world concentrate on their small-scale industries.
The Lagos State government, through our ministry, the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, currently runs 17 functional skill acquisition, and this includes so many vocational skills. Like all the things I've seen here, we do everything, and we do many more. And it runs in 17 functional skill acquisition centers across the state. We have them in the 5 divisions of the state. We also have the short-term training and the long-term training. And we have them at regular intervals. This form of empowerment program of our ministry offers diverse opportunities for all class of Lagosians and Nigerians to learn various vocations, after which they are provided with startup kits. In addition, the government of His Excellency Mr. Akinwumi Ambode has created the Employment Trust Fund, from which funds will be accessed by qualifying candidates. All these efforts are geared towards improving the Nigerian economy, and through this initiative, thousands of young people and adults have been trained across the state, which has further assisted in creating work.
In the submission of the Lagos State Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, who was represented by Mr. Hakeem Adeniji, he commended the Yoruba Tennis Club for the bold initiative taken to help the small business owners and entrepreneurs to fashion out a more effective way to be connected with the right market for their goods. He, however, admonished them to concentrate more on the production of products in which Nigeria has comparative advantage. He also advocated attitudinal change, saying Nigerians should cultivate the habit of patronizing locally made products, because when we patronize foreign products, we help in depreciating the value of the naira. Next to speak was Mr. Akintunde Oyebode, the Executive Secretary, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. He also stressed that Lagos State government places a lot of premium on the ease of doing business, which he advised the young entrepreneurs to take advantage of. He encouraged the young entrepreneurs to take advantage of the interest rate single-digit loan, which Lagos State Employment Trust Fund has made available for all businesses whose owners can show genuine evidence of tax compliance, among other requirements.
And even also the Employment Trust Fund, set up by Governor Ambode, which I am here to represent, has been created to enable entrepreneurship and provide employment opportunities to Lagos residents. Now, while all these initiatives will take time to deliver obvious benefits, it's clear that by harmonizing 3 to 4 within Lagos State institutions, and even with the harmonization with the federal institutions, that there will be strong, very credible benefits from all of these government interventions. And the important thing is for entrepreneurs in this room to understand that with that much focus from different governments, there's clearly going to be an improvement in both the business conditions and availability of finance and other support infrastructure that will enable you to grow your business.
The man of the moment was the Lagos State Commissioner for Employment and Wealth Creation, Mr. Babatunde Duro-Simieti, who is also a member of the club. He harped on the fact that entrepreneurship leads to wealth creation, with a pledge that Lagos State is ready to help with the right avenue for the marketing of the Made in Nigeria products, however, with a caveat that the quality of the products must be acceptable internationally. Mr. Babatunde Duro-Simieti also emphasized that the Ambode government has done a lot in terms of ease of doing business in the state.
We are currently working on access to market. It's one thing to be able to produce. It's another thing to be able to get the market. It's also one thing to be able to access funding at good rates. That is why the Employment Trust Fund is there. Whether you like it or not, there also has to be capacity before action. On our part, we are working on access to finance, access to market, and prior to us getting up here, I was just having an informal discussion with my colleague, the Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs, telling her about our intention to see how we can access market. Information is very key. I've been to about 3 or 4 exhibitions of Made in Nigeria goods this year, and I could attest to the quality, even outside the country. You go to countries like Tier 1, you go to shops like Tier 1 in Washington, and you're able to see Made in Nigeria goods. But I think the problem we have is both quality, one, and the ability to be able to provide the quantity which will meet the best practices of the international market. But we should not relent in these efforts, because I am sure we can achieve that goal.
The vote of thanks was given by Sister Professor Olubumi Fabanwo, wife of the Vice Chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Professor Tokunbo Fabanwo, who spoke on behalf of the women's wing of the club, organizers of the Niger Fair.
We have day. We thank God for making this day possible. A lot has gone into planning this event. And in particular, we'd like to say thank you so much to Lagos State Government.
After that, they all took a guided tour around the different pavilions to have a first-hand appraisal of the goods in display. They interacted with some of the small-scale entrepreneurs, whom they also gave a few useful tips along the line. They were conducted round by the chairperson of the women's wing of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Mrs. Muyiwa Martins. The Naija Fair to grow the Naira ended with a raffle draw, which saw some lucky people among the so many at the Yoruba Tennis Club win prizes, which they were given on the spot. We will keep a close tab on the business of some of the budding entrepreneurs whose goods were on display at the Naija Fair to see which of them will hit a business boom that will turn their situations around 360 degrees. As a social and recreation club, which accords equal recognition and respect to the Christian and Islamic religion, the Yoruba Tennis Club organized an interfaith service to mark its 90th anniversary. In attendance were high-ranking Muslim and Christian clerics, the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, the vice chairman, trustees and past chairman were also present. Leading the Islamic side was Alfa Abdullahi Kamaruddin, the head of the Jama'atu Islam of Nigeria and Overseas Division in Lukbeju, Lagos, and Alfa Yusuf of Division 1, Jama'atu Islam of Nigeria and Overseas Division, Tokumbo Street, Lagos. On the side of the Christian was Archbishop Magnus Adeyemi Atilade. He was ably supported by Reverend Dr. Oyebode. The Islamic session of the interfaith service was conducted by Alhaji Abdullahi Muhammad, who said the program was taking place on a very important day in the Islamic calendar, a day when Muslim pilgrims climbed Mount Arafat for special prayers to seek God's blessing and glorify God. Alhaji Abdullahi Muhammad asked everyone to join him in a short song, and then
Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallahi al-azim, Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallahi al-azim, Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallahi al-azim, Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi.
And then asked the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Ayodele Martins, to read a portion of the Holy Quran.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Amana rasulu bima unzila ilayhi min rabbihi wal mu'minuna qulu amana billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi la nufarriqu bayna ahadin min rusuli wa qalu samina wa atana ghufranaka.
In his sermon, the Muslim cleric praised members of the Yoruba Tennis Club for addressing each other as brothers and sisters, which he said can bring them closely together. He admonished members to continue in that stead, while he called on other Nigerians to try to be one another's keeper.
The Yoruba Tennis Club was born on the platform of love, on the platform of brotherhood, on the platform of welfare. The welfarism and the brotherhood that exists within the club has kept the club up till today. And I believe if it is upheld, if we continue to uphold it, it will continue to be like this. I pray that every one of us that are sitting down here today, we have taken ourselves as brothers. I observe in the invitation that was given to me, the chairman was addressed as brothers, as a brother. The secretary addressed himself as a brother. And when I came in, I saw 1, 2, 3 people addressing themselves as brother, irrespective of age.
The Christian aspect of the interfaith service was moderated by the Archbishop Magnus Atilade, who is also a member of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Archbishop Magnus Atilade is the president of the Gospel Baptist Conference Nigeria and Overseas, and chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Southwest. He was assisted by Reverend Olukayode Oyebode. The first item was a hymnal rendition by everyone. Reverend Oyebode prayed afterwards. first lesson taken from Romans chapter 12 verse 3 to 12 was taken by the vice chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Professor Tokunbo Fabanwo.
For I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Christ, and everyone members one of another.
The sermon was preached by Archbishop Magnus Atilade, who told the gathering that his father was a Muslim for a long time before he converted to Christianity. Archbishop Atilade, who also had the singular privilege of also preaching at the 70th anniversary of the Yoruba Tennis Club 20 years ago, prayed that most of the members will be alive to witness the club's centenary. He based his sermon on fellowship through love. He took his message from the book of Philippians chapter 2 verse 2. Archbishop Magnus Atilade, who preached in an admixture of Yoruba and English languages, urged members of the Yoruba Tennis Club to be closer to one another and guard jealously the lofty tenets left behind by the founding fathers of the club.
Fellowship through love, ìbárawa lò pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́, and the passage from the Holy Book, as I quoted in Philippians 2 verse 2, fulfill your joy by being like-minded, having a mind of love. Ẹ mú ayọ̀ yín kún, ẹ ní nínú inú kan náà, kí ìmọ̀ yín kí ó jẹ́ ọ̀kan nínú ìfẹ́ ara yín, ìfẹ́ ọmọlàkejì. The Holy Quran also established the importance of people showing love among those who hold the same belief, who will be able to live together in harmony and have a unity of purpose. Surah 3:31 and 4:124. This concept and practice makes the Yoruba Tennis Club primus inter pares, first among equals, amongst clubs that emphasizes fraternal or brotherly relationship. Hence, this club, as you have noted, whoever you are, young or old, big man or small man, we all call ourselves brothers.
The vote of thanks then followed. The closing prayer was given by Reverend Oyebode. With the Abalabi program, which has been most anticipated by all members and friends of the club, the Yoruba Tennis Club has once again interpreted to the letter a major tenet of the club, which all members hold very close to their chest. That is, absolute respect for traditions, norms and customs of the Yoruba people, which is inculcated in the youth from very tender age. The Abalabi program, for starters, saw all members of the club, from the chairman, vice chairman, trustees, past chairman, and indeed everyone, turn out in very flowery, well-embroidered traditional garbs, in which they all looked resplendent. We gathered reliably that some of these robes were actually handed down to some of them by their late parents. The power dressers at that very traditional setting included the chairman of the club, Brother Ayodele Martins, the vice chairman, Brother Professor Tokunbo Fabanwo, trustee and secretary to the board of trustees of the club, Dr. Fini, the Alakbini of Lagos, Chief Bolahon Odeinde, Dr. Abisogun, and Chief Sholanke. It was proudly Yoruba tradition attire all the way. However, chairman of the board of trustees of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Alhaji Abdulateef Olufemi Okunu, CON, was clearly ahead of others in the wine color ashoke he put on at the Abalabi program. The royal fathers were in attendance, and the white chiefs, who represented the Oba of Lagos, all made a very unique fashion statement in the way they all turned out. To set the tone for the program was traditional music in its original undiluted form. The program, which was handled by the social secretary of the club, Brother Obafemi Oduwole, who also decked out in one of his flamboyant traditional garbs, began with an opening remark by the chairman of the Yoruba Tennis Club, Brother Ayodele Martins, who spoke in Yoruba language as the occasion demands, before he yielded the stage to Alhaji Femi Okunu, Chairman Board of Trustees of the Yoruba Tennis Club. The Abalabi program was blessed by one of the white-cap chiefs of the Oba of Lagos, High Chief Lateef Aderibigbe Ajose. The arrival of the Baba Abalabi into the hall signaled the commencement of the program proper. The Baba Abalabi is a very respected member of the Yoruba Tennis Club. Brother Anthony Shola Shomade can be said to have spent 40 years technically in the club, because before he was initiated in 1977, he had spent a whole 10 years coming to the club with his father. Baba Abalabi brought a completely new vista of life to the proceedings as they entered with some female dancers and drummers. They danced through all the nooks and crannies of the greetings hall, acknowledging greetings. That was how it ended, before Baba Abalabi made a special supplication to God to bless Yoruba Tennis Club at 90 and that God should open the gates of prosperity for all. Following in tow was the Gelede dancers, the Egungun dancers and the Egunuko dancers, who took turns to entertain the audience with their varied dance routines and sequences. The rich tradition and cultural heritage of Lagos, the city of aquatic splendor, center of excellence with a population that has hit the megacity status, was brought to bear at the event. Members couldn't hold back their joy and excitement as they danced in celebration of the Yoruba Tennis Club at 90. Members of the Yoruba Tennis Club will take a well-deserved rest with the Salah holiday of 12th and 13th September to further strategize on how to be back on the beat with the remaining programs on Wednesday, 14th September, with a visit to charity homes. The chairman of the club will be accompanied on the visit by members of the Executive and Welfare Committee, as well as coordinator of the Thursday Fish Lunch Group. Departure time is 9:30 a.m. from the club premises. You can be sure that BOS will bring you all that will transpire during the visits in our subsequent programs on AIT, Ben TV London, and BOS website on www.biscanworld.com, which is on 24 hours daily. Stay tuned.